KMTV Action 3 News live at 10 starts now with your Weather Alert First Forecast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Jim Flowers in Control Comfort Weather Center. Temperatures, if you've been outdoors this evening, are getting cold out. Readings are already in the lower and mid-teens across the area, and they're forecast to drop even more. There is a wind chill advisory in effect for western Iowa, not so much here in eastern Nebraska. Wind chills will drop back to 20 to 25 below late tonight and through the morning drive. So dress the kids warmly for school tomorrow. Threat tracker is in the low category for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Could see some flurries late in the day on Thursday, and I'll have more on that coming up.
Her older sister was the wheel after school. She turned in front of another driver on a busy highway in Sarpy County. There was a crash. The impact killed a 7-year-old right here who had a pretty smile and a giving heart. Tonight, a charity in honor of Maddie Hughes is gaining steam. Good evening, I'm Craig DeGrelli.
And I'm Jennifer Griswold. The little girl loves sports, and tonight that love lives on in others. Reporter Kelly Bartnick sat down with Maddie's uncle today. Kelly?
Jenny, it's been 5 weeks since that crash, and since that time, the Plattsmouth community has rallied around the family in every way possible, including right here online. Tonight, Maddie's uncle sat down with us to talk about the 7-year-old and how the family is moving forward.
She thought glitter was a color, so we have a lot of, we all have t-shirts that says my favorite color is glitter.
In pictures, 7-year-old Maddie Hughes' life is bright, full of smiles and joy. 3 days before her 8th birthday, Maddie's uncle Kevin Hughes says that's what the family will remember.
You know, she really was one of those people that had a light in her eyes and had a real fire within her that people could see, and it was contagious, I think.
The purple ribbon pinned to Hughes' shirt sparkles in Maddie's memory. Purple is the color they used to rally around her in life and now in death. Purple at the corner of Highway 75 and Platteview Road marks the spot of the deadly January crash where Maddie died.
I don't know if there's really a way that we know to handle that. I mean, you take things as they come in front of you.
He speaks for a grieving Hughes family, Maddie's parents and siblings, including her teenage sister who drove the SUV that day.
Asking questions is good, and talking about things is good, and that's what we've tried to do. And
he joins the family in doing good and celebrating it too. There have been blessings, Hughes says, these past 5 weeks.
The community kind of pulls you along and kind of gets you where you need to go, and your friends do things for you that you don't expect.
Strangers have stepped in too. The most public example, Bradley Ging, an OPPD lineman honored for his life-saving attempts at the crash site that day.
And it's amazing how somebody like that can change your life. It's a 7-year-old girl I never got to meet.
And now joining the family to do even more good, establishing the Maddie Hughes Sports Fund.
We want to try and help other people who aren't lucky enough to be able to afford cheerleading or football or whatever the case might be, and to be able to do those kind of things and get a uniform or do the types of things that all the other kids do.
So other children can shine just like Maddie.
The Sports Fund GoFundMe page tally is now at $1,290 after just 2 days. There is another family fundraiser set at the community center in Plattsmouth this Saturday from 9 to noon. We have information with both of these on our website, KMTV.com. In the newsroom tonight, Kelly Bartnick, KMTV Action 3 News.
Love to see people coming together to help. Thanks, Kelly. Her son's death made national headlines and triggered a discussion about racism in America. Trayvon Martin's mom, Sabrina Fulton, spoke to a packed house at UNO tonight. Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman shot and killed Martin in Florida in 2012. Since his death, Martin's mother has spoken on social change. She had a message for those affected by gun violence in Omaha tonight.
I would tell them, you know, when you're done, you know, with the disappointment and the sadness and everything, to, you know, because it's okay to cry, you know, but at the end of the day, you still have to do something to become a part of that change.
A jury found Zimmerman not guilty in Martin's death. Sabrina Fulton will speak at UNL tomorrow. Breaking news tonight, a Benson fast food restaurant that got held up by an armed robber last month hit again tonight. The crime lab is on the scene right now. Omaha police tell us a man, possibly armed with a gun, went in and held up this subway at 60th and Maple around 9 o'clock tonight. Back in late January, a man walked into the same restaurant and waved a knife at the store manager before taking off with cash.
New at 10, Omaha police are reviewing surveillance footage tonight after a robbery in South Omaha. Investigators say a young man in a black hoodie walked into Nieto's Bakery at 16th and Vinton. He pointed a gun in the clerk's face and demanded money. Once he received the cash, he took off through the back door. Police say his face was not covered. They hope the security video will reveal his identity. He was the JR in JR's Jewelry and Gifts at 72nd near Pacific in Omaha. A man shot and killed Jim Minshall during a holdup last fall. Tonight, reporter Megan Matthews went back to the store to see how his family is coping and carrying on his legacy. She's live tonight. Megan?
Craig, this is how much of an impact one man had on the entire community. I want you to take a look at this. It is a little bit windy tonight, but people are still posting messages on the business window for the Minshall family, and it's the handwritten kindness that gets them through. Concentration, precision, and love for the job. It's what's kept this jewelry business going for more than 20 years. Lessons learned, passed on from father to children.
It's been different. Still hard. We have good days and bad days, but we're getting through.
Tracy Bland can't ask her dad what to do anymore. Instead, she just looks up at his picture hanging above JR's Jewelry and Gifts.
You feel closer to him because this is where it ended.
The calendar on Jim Minshall Sr.'s work desk is still set at September 2014. Why a young man walked in with a gun and shot him is still a mystery almost 6 months later.
It's a comfort to know they're not on the streets and that this isn't going to happen to somebody else. But there's possibly others who were involved who are still out there.
It brings the Minshall family some peace to know 2 men suspected of the botched robbery are behind bars. What keeps their spirits up are the customers, old and new.
What was the name? Beck? Okay.
We've got a lot of new customers that didn't even know we were here, and they heard about what happened to Dad, and they wanted to come show their support. So it's been amazing.
Jim may not be at his bench setting diamonds or cracking jokes, but he'd be proud of his shop today.
Business has been good, not the kind of advertisement we wanted, but Dad would be very well impressed. He's probably looking down thinking, what the heck?
Police did not confirm with us today if this robbery investigation is still open or if there are any possible suspects in this robbery. The Minshall family has taken extra security measures with hopes that this will never happen again here. Reporting live near 72nd and Pacific, Megan Matthews, KMTV, Action 3 News.
All right, Megan, well told. Prosecutors have charged Milton Dortch Jr. with murder. He's in custody tonight. They believe Chris Hicks drove the getaway car. Police also booked him last fall.
New at 10, a bill in the Nebraska legislature would allow drunk minors a freebie in emergency situations. Underage drinkers could get medical help for themselves or a friend and avoid alcohol charges. Lawmakers voted Tuesday to give the measure first-round approval. The idea is to get help for minors with alcohol poisoning without fear of a criminal conviction. Immunity would only extend to alcohol charges. A war of words in Lincoln today as lawmakers squared off on a controversial voter ID bill. The new legislation would require you to show a government-issued photo ID at the polls. Supporters say it would protect the reliability of the election process and reduce voter fraud. But opponents say if the bill passes, it could rob some people of the right to vote, including the older population.
Well, you know, a lot of your elderly don't drive anymore, and they don't have driver's license, and they don't have other kinds of ID.
If you vote early or submit your ballot by mail, you would not have to show an ID. Similar bills have died in the legislature in the past.
We now know why authorities staked out a suspect in Bellevue when he dodged officers and ran over his mother's foot. This is Anthony Flood's mugshot. My goodness. After cops arrested him in southwest Omaha yesterday, officers nabbed Anthony Flood and 2 others after a crash near 120th and L yesterday. Remember this? Bellevue police tried to catch him on Saturday, but he got away. Douglas County had put out a warrant for the accused felon as an escapee. OSHA investigators now believe Langley Productions could have done more to protect the cop's sound man killed while trying to record the police response to an armed robbery in Midtown last summer. An Omaha police officer accidentally shot and killed Bryce Dion, who you saw there, during the mayhem at Wendy's on Dodge. The robber, Cortez Washington, fired an airsoft gun at officers. They fired back. Police bullets also killed Washington. OSHA says cops' TV crews are always at risk on the job, but Langley Productions should provide more training with bulletproof vests, and their crews should stay back in dangerous situations. Langley told us today, we plan to do all possible to implement stricter procedures and policies to avoid any unforeseen tragedy in the future.
Doctors say Nico Jenkins is not only a convicted killer, he's a faker. The Lincoln Regional Center issued a lengthy report saying Jenkins is lying about any mental disorder he believes he has. The case for his Omaha murder spree will move forward to the sentencing phase. Jenkins killed 4 people in August 2013 after he was released from prison on good time. He faces the death penalty.
More guns at the airport. The TSA said today it seized a record number of them in 2014, more than 2,000. So we checked on Epley today. Agents have discovered 2 guns at checkpoints this year. Last year, the total was 12. Back in December, TSA officials gave us a look at a bunch of confiscated weapons, including pocket knives, large tools, airsoft guns, and, yes, switchblades.
I keep hearing people describe the weather lately as a bit of a roller coaster. If that's the case, we are on a hill that is going down fast.
Yeah, you go outside tonight and